And I guess I'm live. There we go. Doing this one solo. Welcome to Inside the Home Theater. I'm Bill Murphy for an exclusive episode focused mainly on MAG Theatron speakers. We'll get right to the point of this whole live presentation. It's not going to be a long one. This is just also to have in the archives to forward to potential dealers. In case you're new to the show and don't know what's going on here, my name is Bill Murphy. I'm with Let's Get Physical Distribution here in Davie, Florida, outside of Fort Lauderdale. I want to start by wishing the best for everyone we know here in Florida, all of our dealers, all of our friends that are on the west coast of Florida. We happen to be in one of the few safe areas in the state, and we're very lucky for that. But over on the west coast of Florida, there's people that I know that are just barely now getting back to their homes after coming to the East Coast to get out of the way, and still don't know the extent of the damage that they're going to come home to. So we wish you the best, everybody on the west coast of Florida. Anyway, we're based in Florida, and we represent three high-end home theater brands, including Arvolution, which is our main focus brand. It's actually Let's Get Physical Distribution is a subsidiary, if you will, of the companies that make and produce the Arvolution media players and the storage solutions with the Arvolution NAS. The U.S. version is out just recently, as a matter of fact. And also Bridgie Cables, high-end Bridgie Cables, a company that we just brought over from China, but they are a manufacturer of high-end HDMI and audio cables for other brands, and have now put their own brand name on some very durable high-end cables that are very reasonably priced. Definitely high-end priced, but not ridiculous. And we'd be happy to tell you more. You can reach me at bill@letsgetphysical.com, letsget-physical.com. And again, we told the story when Raphael and I appeared with the Haterade Cowboy, Jordan, and told him the origin of that story was because we were originally representing the Magnetar and Revon Blu-ray players, and the name was sort of an homage to the physical media, which we all still love very much. And the Arvolution players, once you learn more about them, will they still do good justice to physical media. And MAG Theatron is the speaker company that we're going to focus on today. This is a cinema speaker company out of Ukraine that I was introduced to just a few months ago, right after M-Wave, back in earlier this summer. And we have since become the exclusive distributor for the United States for MAG Theatron, and we're very proud to be representing them. And I am as enthusiastic and excited about this brand as anybody could possibly be. And I happen to be owning and using and demoing and experiencing the very first MAG Theatron cinema speakers to make it to the United States. And this episode is an invitation to dealers and consumers alike to set up an appointment with me. If you're anywhere near the Fort Lauderdale area, if you're anywhere near Florida, it would be worth the trip to sit and experience these speakers in person. Here's what I've got here. I've got right behind me a hybrid media room, if you will, that's also used for music recording and production as well, although a third of the footprint is taken up with some so a drum set and some other recording equipment, but 2/3 of it is sectioned off into a shoebox-shaped mini home theater room that I can easily demo the products in here to give you a great idea what's going on. A smaller footprint than you might be used to in a typical room, although it is 3 seats and it is 18 by 13, the actual listening area, which is a modest size, but still you would be definitely using MAG Theatron speakers in rooms considerably larger. And you can get a great idea of what they sound like, and you'll know because of the SPL level that they would definitely fill rooms a lot larger. Hey, Don, good to see you out there, and hope you did well through surviving the storms. Another one of our Florida neighbors there, Don Hensley, joining in here. Feel free to ask any questions if you'd like. I can field them as we go. I've got your comments right up here, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you got. What happened was I tried to put together a Google slideshow to present all of the MAG Theatron products give you an up close look at the specs, some photos, and it's beautiful. But I can't import it into StreamYard because I'm not experienced enough to do that. I've got the Google slideshow saved, and unfortunately, I can't show it to you. I do have the MAG Theatron speakers here. I can tell you what I do have in the room for you to experience, and we can go over some of the products. Now, we're focusing on the performance series for now. Don, you're more than welcome to come by and see this anytime you'd like. In fact, I urge you to, so that you can urge other potential customers to come and demo this. Consider my demo room your demo room as it comes to MAG Theatron. The reason I'm so excited about this is because here's what I did have, and I might as well explain what my system is. And at the heart of the system is an Anthem AVM 70. I have a 5.2 or 1, whatever you technically want to call it, 5.2.4 set up in here with Bryston 2BLP vintage amplifiers. I use 5 of those to run the 9 main layer speakers, or I should say the 5 surround speakers and the 4 Atmos speakers. And I have 1 channel that I keep as a spare. But that's my amplification, and I'm very much in love with the Bryston amplifier sound. And I did have until I still do. I have now put the MAG Theatron speakers in front of my existing system. I have all floor standing and bookshelf speakers for mine. So basically these speakers are on stands in front of my existing system, which was Emotiva Air Motif T0 B2 Plus and the C2 Plus, I believe, are the model numbers of what I was using. And on the Atmos A1, I think they're called A1 Plus, the 4 Atmos speakers for Emotiva. And through the Bryston speakers, those Emotiva speakers sound amazing. I do have a very long history with Bryston, and I do understand their signature sound. I've been in front of, I have a 40-year broadcast experience, so I've heard music and audio from every type of component you can think of, from consumer to pro, from very cheap to very high end. And I kind of understand what the signature sound for the Bryston amplifier is. I've tried them with every kind of speaker you can imagine, from Yamaha NS10s to Infinity. God, those are, what were my Infinity? RS3000s. I used them in vintage K-Rock, or I'm sorry, KRK K-Rock ones, not the active ones that are sold in the music stores now with the yellow cones, the old ones, the black ones that were like a hexagon, or not hexagon, but whatever you wanted to call it, that shape. What is that shape I'm trying to think of for the K-Rock speakers? But anyway, I know the difference from how those Bryston amplifiers sound from one speaker to the next, and I can tell when an amplifier is putting a flavor or a character to a sound, and I can tell that Bryston is basically just pure amplification. It will, if you play directly out of a DAW into a Bryston amplifier, and whatever speaker you put at the other end, you're going to hear exactly what that speaker sounds like, because the Bryston is giving you a very fair, neutral, transparent sound of what is on your file that you're listening to. And when I tried Klipsch's in the with the Bryston amplifiers once a few years ago, I totally got to hear what Klipsch sounded like compared to all my others. So the bottom line is, now I have the MAG Theatron speakers in. Oh yes, absolutely. I'll be jumping on with you, Don. Sorry, I'm just replying to our chat here with Don. Good luck with your show tonight, brother. And I also, where was I? So the MAG Theatron speakers are in here with the Bryston amplifiers, and they're rated at I guess 200 watts per channel, and I am running them at 100 watts per channel into the 4 ohms with the Bryston amps, and they just, putting them in front of the Emotiva speakers, obviously everything's a little bit closer. The soundstage, the bigger, the presentation is just bigger and more, I almost want to use the word aggressive. It's very open and very raw, and very commercial sounding. The whole idea behind MAG Theatron speakers is to get the real commercial cinema experience into your home. And that's the first thing you notice about the character of these speakers, is that they give you that physical impact and three-dimensional sort of audio presentation that you're used to in a commercial theater, in this very, very small space. So I'm inviting anyone who's a dealer in anywhere close to the South Florida, or Florida for that matter. It would be worth a day trip down to sit for an hour or two in front of these speakers and kind of experience what's going on with them. I wanted to show you some pictures to sort of guide you through what's going on. Let me see if I can share my screen. Hang on one second. Let me just kind of fumble through some of this myself, because I do believe I have some photos left over from the last time. That is a facing the wrong way photo of the MAG Theatron 3200W Amp. That's the amplifier that I run my Hammer 15 subs. If you're at all familiar with the model numbers for MAG Theatron, I can tell you that I am running the 8s. The mains are M8, L, C, and R. And why would the mains have different letters attached to them and be designated for left, center, and right? Well, that's because the horn section, I should say the waveguide horn that is in front of the titanium tweeter, directs the dispersion more towards the main listening position. As these speakers are designed to be behind your screen, even the 8s are, although they are very attractive, and the 8s can happily live outside of an environment without a transparent screen. You can easily put them on stands like I did and use them. And the left one is designed to give a sort of a 30-degree, I think it is, toe in towards the main listening position, and the right does the opposite. So it doesn't waste a lot of the dispersion on the side walls, where you always have to protect for early reflections anyway, and it focuses the presentation more towards the main listening position. It compensates for the toe in that you're not allowed or not able to do sometimes in a behind the screen situation. And what I've noticed with my 3 seats and my main listening position being as specific as it was, I noticed that that the centering, the main listening position, stayed the same if I shifted my head to the left and the right more than it did with my regular folded ribbon tweeters, which also have decent dispersion on them. But I noticed that the main listening position was a little bit wider, if you will. I could sit in the seat to my left or the right, or if I slid over to the middle seat a little bit, I'd still get a great representation of the entire Dolby Atmos dome. I was well aware of where the right front speaker was and could feel what it was doing, even though I was off to the left. More so with the MAG Theatron speakers than any other speakers that I've tried in this room. That's the M8, L, C, and R for the front. Then I have the S8 surrounds in the back, designed to be a little bit higher up on the wall because they have a down-firing waveguide horn in front of its titanium dome tweeter that points it more down into your listening position. So, for instance, when you put your surrounds at ear level and you have 2 rows, or you have 3 people sitting in 1 row of 3 seats, a lot of that energy and audio gets wasted on the person sitting next to you, or off to the left aisle, if you will, or the right aisle, and that can't get across as much. With the speakers raised a little and the horn section of the horn assembly pointing down towards the main listening position, it's a more even dispersion. And I have them set up sort of untraditionally, as in the back, kind of I set up horizontally with that horn aimed more towards the center of the room. So I'm using them not particularly exactly how they're supposed to do, but I'm telling you, the presentation in this room is outstanding. The dynamics are just off the charts. And like I said, the physical impact from these and the sort of 3D presentation that you get from the audio of the speakers is outstanding. And the Mac Daddy of what I've got in this room is 2 of the Hammer 15 subwoofers. And they are just over the top. as far as, let me see if I've got a photo here of them. Let's just take a look here for a second. The Hammer 15s, if you can look carefully in the back of the room there, you can see them flanking my panel, one to the left and one to the right. They're 47 inches high, about maybe 18 inches deep and 22 inches or so wide. 15-inch driver in the bottom. They're ported, like most commercial subwoofers are, and that helps to get that extra sort of tactile sort of feel that these things will create. One of the first things I noticed when I took a Hammer 15 out of the box, all 115 pounds of it, I noticed that it had, it was a little resonant when I kind of knocked on it. And I thought at first I was a little concerned about that because I thought every large subwoofer that I've ever had always seemed to be very, very solid and not, you could not really hear any hollow sort of character if you did something like that on most. And then it occurred to me once I've heard them and experienced them that there's so much more definition in notes, especially in music, in the upper frequencies, not just the ones that hit you like below the belt at the 40 and 50 and lower. We're talking about the ones that have impact, the top end of the kick drum, the snare drum, the low end that's on that, and mostly in music. And then in movies, I watched Oblivion the other night, and I could feel like there were several levels of high energy, low end bursts. Says a lot about how the movie's produced, by the way, but when you come to a part where a spaceship is getting ready to dock into something and you've got that low rumble and you feel like you're at the highest level you can get, and then when the entry starts and the low end even doubles after that point, it's like dynamics within the low end spectrum to themselves, separate from the rest, it's the best way that I can try to put that into English terms. I just can't really describe it, but it's a very physical and very emotional experience. Now, the Hammer 15s, I am running with the MAG Theatron Class D amplifier, the one that I just showed you, the 3200 watt one. It's 1600 watts per channel. And the retail price, when you combine one of the 3200 watt amplifiers with two Hammer 15s, which would be bigger, there's also a Hammer 12 if you need to if you have little size concerns, and there's also the main 12 LCNR and 15 LCNR, which again, I will do another episode of this where I get the slideshow presentation to work correctly and I can show you more detail and photographs of these things. All of this can be seen at mag-theatron.com. That's MAG-THEATRON.com. And there's very, very specific details on all of the products, all of the subwoofers, all of the speakers. Now, they even make a 21-inch subwoofer. There's also the Thea Thor, which is a 24-inch subwoofer. I can't speak on behalf of that one. I have not experienced it yet. Also, what's known as a DBA 21 for double bass array setup, which kind of plays in concert with the new Trinov waveforming. This is a design that has subwoofers in the front and the back of the room that work together, and it's a double bass array that I know the folks from Trinov are very excited about, as they also seem to be big fans of this brand as well. And again, the history is that all of the products from MAG Theatron are assembled in their plant in Ukraine, from top to bottom. Everything from the magnets to the wood to the veneer on the outside, the outside, the coating, all of the parts for the speakers. Nothing is farmed out from anywhere else. MAG Theatron is a division of a company called MAG Audio, which has been making commercial cinema equipment and speakers for a couple of decades now. And now this MAG Theatron division, and then they also created MAG Cinema, which was basically more geared towards the commercial theaters. MAG Audio was all, high-end concert and festival speaker setups, front of house kind of stuff, arrays of concert speakers and stuff. So MAG Theatron is incorporating a lot of the technology in both MAG Audio and MAG Cinema into the home cinema. And this is where they really bring that commercial experience into home theater. Whereas, you have a lot of other brands that developed as, medium to low end consumer electronics, and then moved into high home theater, which does require having a higher standard of manufacturing and products. When you come from the high end in the commercial side, like MAG Audio did, it's easy to bring that into the home theater market, which is, you can tell that this equipment is not trying very hard to give you a very dynamic and extremely loud experience. And there's no pushing. You can feel, and the headroom and especially in the subwoofers is palpable. And I'm at sound pressure levels that I've never experienced. I've gotten this system. I'm able to get this louder than I would ever need it to be, with zero sign of any distortion anywhere in the spectrum. So, and whereas I could feel, because, and also because of the ohm differences, but with all credit due to Emotiva that they deserve, those speakers were not suffering at all at very high sound pressure levels through those Bryston amplifiers. It's the amplifiers that I felt like were reaching their limits when I was at 8 ohms, because that's 60 watts at 8 ohms, and they're 100 watts at 4 ohms. So with the Emotivas, everything was still very clean, but the amps were starting to get to the limit where you don't want to be. You want to be right at that sweet spot, as opposed to, way into it. When you get, especially with equipment that old, that you want to make sure you're treating it well. But like any good amplifier, those the hotter you run them, the better they sound. So the bottom line is, with the difference with the new speakers, the content that I was listening to at minus 15 or minus 16, let's say, that I would consider, pretty much full volume, is now 22, minus 22 or 20, 21. When I play through the MAG Theatron speakers with my amps. So there's a whole lot more headroom. There's a lot more volume, a lot more punch, and a lot more energy with these ever since I've made this change. So my studio is located outside of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, actually Plantation, Florida, just about 15-minute ride from the Fort Lauderdale airport. And it is a converted garage. So I guess the overall size of the room is probably about 21 by 19. And then when you take away the little bit of closet space, you're left with, like I said, about an 18 by 13 or 14 listening area with 3, why am I not remembering them? Octane, Charger XS300s, still in great shape. They serve the purpose, and you can get an idea by sitting in any of the 3 seats about how wide the main listening position is, and that sweet spot seemed how it seemed to grow once we got the MAG Theatron speakers in here. Now, I guess I could just step away from the mic a second and show you one of these close up instead of getting a picture. Let's see, I only have banana plugs on there, so I should be able. Let me get this center channel speaker and I'll show it to you, and we'll get a little close up look at what's going on with MAG Theatron. Quick shout out to Speaker Snap, making it real easy with those banana plugs. Anyway, this is the M8 with the grill on it. If I remove the grill from this, you can see what's going on with this speaker. So you've got the 8-inch driver, and it is ported as well. But there's also, what you want to look at here is what looks like a horn. Now, I did a little research myself, because when I was reading the spec sheet on this speaker, I saw that it said it was a 2-inch titanium dome tweeter. It goes the other way, Bill. So you're seeing an opposite photo. So it's in there, but this waveform assembly here directs it. So this is the center. So this one would be symmetrical, of course, in both directions. You get the same dispersion coming out from the middle this way. And then if you did mount it vertically like this, the screws remove, and you can rotate the speaker so that it stays in the right direction that it's supposed to be. And there you go. It's just a beautifully constructed speaker, and they look pretty damn good even without the grill on them. But like I said, if you have a situation where you can't put it behind the screen and you want to just use these on stands, this grill looks fantastic on there and is really attractive. They even make a white version with a white grill. So there's that option as well. I started to talk about the retail price. When you match so if you want to get an idea of the price range of these MAG Theatron speakers, you may be, after the description I'm giving you, think that they're insanely priced, like very high, but they're not. Let's just do this suggested manufacturer retail price for the Hammer 15 is $20.99 each. The amplifier that I talked about, the TDC3200, is, I believe, 24 and change. So you're looking at right around 6,000, 6.5 for the two 15-inch subs, which happen to be their real signature subwoofer. That I can tell you a little bit about this, my personal experience with the Arc Genesis quick measure on my subs when I first got them in. First of all, when I went through the whole Arc Genesis room correction, I know those of you who have the Anthem and do that, you'll see that your phase adjustment on your subwoofers is done automatically. And depending on how you have multiple subwoofers set up in your room, there may be minor phase adjustments that come through with the Arc Genesis corrections. Now, I put the two Hammer 15s right up against my wall in front of me, flanking my TV screen. It's an 85-inch screen, and they're, equidistant from my main listening position, which is always a good thing to have. And to have two, of course, fills the room a lot better. My phase adjustments on the Arc Genesis room correction file that I did came back at 5 for one of them and 15 for the other. Basically almost 0 for both. So what that told me was that there was very little phase adjustment needed to make these two subs work together in this room. And it's for obvious reasons. They're overpowering the room. They're pressurizing the room way beyond its needs. So there's basically no dead spots in the whole room. And I just, because of my, just wanted to compare for myself, I switched those both back to 0. And it to me, it sounded even a little bit better, especially covering the entire room as opposed to just the main listening position. In any case, the two subs and the amp together right around 64, 6,500. And you can do your own reference on your price comparisons to other high-end subwoofer systems out there. And of course, there would always be multiple involved. So if you look at some of the retail prices of some of them out there and make that comparison, I think you're looking at a completely different category for MAG Theatron. Of course, I haven't had a chance to hear everyone, and none of us really have. I mean, I know some of you have been able to have a chance to hear multiple brands in multiple different scenarios and rooms and make comparisons. But, I've gotten my ears in front of as many as I can. And I can tell you these are the only speakers, and especially subs, that give me the real true commercial theater experience. Oblivion the other night was like 2 hours of being on a roller coaster or a spaceship the whole time. It was just the whole aura that was created was very easy to suspend disbelief and get lost into the story, just because the audio, there's sections where it would just pull you into where the spaceship was going. And I could tell even on my 5.1.4 system that it would be even more spectacular with a 7.1 or 9.1 system. Because the gradual move from front to back, the low end moving around the room, usually, on subpar or cheaper systems, bass just sort of sits in the same place the whole time, especially with two of these here. And on the right movie that's produced the right way, you do feel heavy footsteps and heavy low end move from side to side, even more with these than I've experienced with anyone else. So again, I'm and encouraging you to set up an appointment with me. Send me an email at bill@letsget-physical.com. Request an appointment to come by for an hour or two to my home and sit in my room to experience this. You can even bring any content that you would like to see, because obviously that's the best thing for you to do, is to compare content that you're very familiar with, so that you know. And just so you know, any potential dealers or anybody out there knows what I'm talking about, I have all of the basic clips that we all have and shared at all of the CEDIA shows and tech summits over the last couple of years. So I know the same scenes that you've seen 10 or 15 times in demo rooms over the last couple of years. I have those as well, so you'll be able to make a fair comparison. So again, I invite you. It's MAG Theatron. Check them out at mag-theatron.com. I don't know how else to say it, except that I'm just trying to share my enthusiasm with you and get these speakers into the home theater market, because they deserve to be there. We also like to give a big shout out to MAG Theatron and congratulate them for getting into the UK. And also, it was just announced this morning that they're in Australia. So after just getting into the States about a month or two ago, right around CEDIA time, they have now gotten their footprint into Australia and the UK. So I do believe we are on the cusp of having MAG Theatron be a solid household name in the home theater industry in the not too distant future. And I urge you to be part of that. And you can, I guarantee you, pretty much guarantee you, that if you sit down in front of these and assess the whole price possibilities of the packages and what you get after you hear it, I know that this will be a value that a lot of you integrators and dealers will want to share with your customers. And I know how excited customers can get about being among the first on board with a brand new, exciting product. And we're not just hyping this product because it's new and we have it. We're sincerely excited about it. It became highly recommended to me by my coworkers in Europe, in particular my France office in Raphael. And I know that if he recommends something or suggests something, he knows how musical I am and what I appreciate in low end and sound, and he highly recommended them. And after I heard him, I realized he was right on, that this is exactly the kind of product that I was looking for. So I know from my own experience, believe me, now every time I see something exciting or listen to something new on this system, I immediately think of sitting there with one of you. And so this is, instead of me picking up the phone and calling every single one of you, I've sent you this link to this video so that you can be encouraged to come by and share the MAG Theatron experience with me. All right, next week we'll do a little more on MAG Theatron next Thursday night, and then that would be October 17th, Thursday night. We will talk in detail about Bridgie cables. I'll have some samples here to show you up close, a little bit about the construction and the durability of these amazing active 48 gig optical HDMI cables that are extremely reliable. I have customers calling me back telling me that they're seeing better image. Not seeing that myself, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that these cables are going to be something that magically makes your picture or audio better, but I can tell you that your connection will be a lot more reliable. The handshakes and the initiation of files may be a little quicker and engage a little faster, but the construction and the durability and the long-term benefit of these cables is really what the emphasis is on. And then we'll revisit Arvolution again in a couple of weeks. We got a brand new product, the Arvolution Pro 8K has been in stock and is now out of stock. We'll be back in stock again very shortly, probably within the week or so. But that is already making a lot of noise out there, along with the Player Mini, the Player One, and the Arvolution NAS, of course. Thanks for tuning in. Please share this video with your friends in the business and anybody you know that may be in the market for building a home theater. And please, if you're shopping for speakers and you want to hear, for reference, even if it's just to hear these so that you can compare other speakers that you've been sampling as well, it's good to get a reference and to get another another brand or another product into your ears to help with that comparison. Bill at letsget-physical.com. Set up an appointment. Come see me in my personal demo room in Florida with the 5.1. I wanted to let you know we do not have the MAG Theatron Dolby Atmos speakers, although by the time you make an appointment and come in here, we may have them up. But I only have 2 of the CS44s right now, and as soon as I can get 2 more, I will put those 4 on my ceiling in place of the Dolby Atmos speakers that I have up there. And just to be fair, to really show you the MAG Theatron signature sound, we'll focus primarily on 5.1 recordings because that will be played through all MAG Theatron speakers. Of course, we'll put on the Dolby Atmos speakers for some of the presentation as well, but those won't be MAG Theatron speakers coming up, so you'll just be able to get an idea of what they sound like. But we'll try to get the CS44s on the ceiling very soon as well. All right, and of course, if you're interested in becoming a dealer for MAG Theatron, please get in touch with me and let me know, of course, with Arvolution and Bridgie as well. Thanks again for tuning in, sharing, and thanks for liking and subscribing and urging your friends to do as well. Good night, and we'll catch you next week on another edition of Inside the Home Theater Live.